Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Reese. This is their part number R199A. This is what they call a Raindrip drip cap. This is a piece of applied gasketing that you would use to help drive water away. Generally, there are two sizes of drip caps, and generally they're installed either at the bottom of the door if it's the smaller one like this, or at the top of the door when it's about the 2.5-inch version of this drip cap from Reese. And you wouldn't use the larger one at the bottom. It would just simply be too large. It would get in the way of normal operation of the door. But at the bottom of the door, this sort of projection is really ideal. And those who install drip caps for the first time, they become insistent on using them in all future instances, because immediately you can tell how effective they are. The first time it rains, you can really see the effectiveness. I continue to be amazed as to the effectiveness of a drip cap, preventing water from going to places that you don't want it to go, especially over at the head of the opening. At the bottom of the door, it's really helpful. You've got your door, maybe your door sweep, and that's your line of defense. But it's helpful to drive that water away. Even the 9/16 or so dimension that it is, preventing it from pooling or collecting at the bottom of your door, where it can then be literally underneath your door with little extra effort. So the R199 is used, and they make these models that integrate sweeps as well. But this unit without, I like to use in instances where there might be a door sweep that doesn't have an integrated drip cap. Sometimes what I will do is look for ways to incorporate this into an existing installation, such as a mortised automatic door bottom, where I've got my seal underneath the door. Well, I'd like to help keep that water from getting even to the literal threshold of the door itself, driving it away. I might use it to cap on top of something else, in order to help drive that away. You can certainly use this at the header, but you might want to try to get away with the larger projection up at the header as well. We've had clients that have said, you know, this drip cap thing is in my hardware spec. I guess send it to me. It's in the spec. I have to use it. They use it, and then it rains, and then they see how it works. I've had clients call, and I've gone to job sites, one in particular, where the water was coming in mysteriously. The roofer was to the job. The roof was perfect. The frame installer was there. I was brought out as the door guy. Sure enough, right after a rain, all the carpet was wet on the inside. Proper drainage. In fact, it was several inches above the alley. Scratching my head, I said, you know, the only thing I can think of is that water's got to be getting in somewhere on the top of the header, seeping in slowly. I says, the only thing I can think of is just add a drip cap. And sure enough, the client added drip caps to all the back doors, and that problem went away immediately. He called me elated, ecstatic, after that first heavy rain. It said the carpet's completely dry, because it was a problem. You know, some sort of a professional tenant, might have been a dentist, and just 6 feet of carpeting on the inside was just saturated with water. Typical Chicago heavy downpour. But the fact of the matter is that drip cap really solved it. There is a link below this video to the product catalog, and that document will show you this larger R201 that I'm referring to. That goes at the header, above the doorway on the header. You will see them very often installed in movie theater buildings, where they're technically not single story because there is a second story, but the public doesn't go there. So they're, you know, for us they're single story, but those walls are 30, 40, 50 feet tall, right? Well, if you think about that column of surface area above the double door, 6 feet times, you know, let's say 40, you've got hundreds of square feet to contend with. And so it's like a sail. It collects all that water, so an enormous amount of rain will come down the face of that wall. And without there being a drip cap, and this mystery leaking situation was a strip mall. The walls were probably only, 18 feet tall, but the surface area concept does apply. Lots of water being collected. an inordinate amount. So in the movie theater concept, all that water comes down. Not having a drip cap, that's just asking for trouble, and you will always see them installed there, or at least you should. Whether they are professional models like this, or they're just simply sheet metal that people have bent, like people who do aluminum siding who have like a 10-foot long, break that they can break very thin gauge material. So you'll see just aluminum sheet metal or galvanized sheet metal turned into a drip cap. It's very common to see that as well. So that link to the product brochure will allow you to review the related products. Now, that interlocking watershed that you see there, that is a really dandy concept. That is shown at the header, but they indicate this equipment is ideally suited for metal doors with transoms. And the reason they're saying that is because the face of the door and the face of the transom will be flush. If you use that at a header and the top of a hollow metal door or doors, the doors are inset ever so slightly, 3/16. So you would really kind of have to contend with the fact that you might need to take that bottom L angle and just trim about maybe 100 thousandths off of that, maybe a little bit less. That's how you might modify that part to work. Incredibly effective when you have an interlock. Here in southern Florida, I've had clients call me to help with weather stripping because in extreme weather events, there's no stopping the rain that is horizontal from coming in. No stopping. But it's also no excuse to not have anything. So we really look at interlocking weather stripping, thresholds, interlocking perimeter gasketing as much as we can in those scenarios, and obviously drip caps. You can see the integrated vinyl and brush sweep that's there. Now there's a image down below showing the dimensional properties of the R199. As you can see, it is 1.5 inches overall height. This is going to have a projection of 9/16. This is in a mill aluminum finish. That product brochure also tells us that this can be done in 2 base materials. Base material aluminum would be the R199A, that's mill finish, D for dark bronze anodized, and G for gold anodized. Then you can do this in a B, which is a bronze base material, and onto that you can do it as mill. Technically you can do it in anything because it's an architectural base material, but mill, satin bronze, mill, satin brass, polished brass, oil rub bronze. I don't know that Reese offers all of those available finishes, but it is available as a solid bronze product as well. You'll see solid bronze products installed here in southern Florida. There's 5-star hotels. You'll see them there. You're building a $5 million house. You're using the highest quality and caliber of materials. That's how that's going to go. That's where you'll see those sorts of applications. Speaking about Reese's dark bronze anodized, it is the best looking dark bronze on weather stripping, on aluminum-based weather stripping that exists. In the sense of if you are matching oil rubbed bronze, a 613 finish, you will want Reese's product because, like other manufacturers who have incredibly dark anodized finishes, some people will say that they're black. And even though they're not black, as you have to compare it to a black item to see that it's not black, on its own it absolutely looks black. So if you're looking to match a true 613, an oil rub bronze finish, Reese would be your best option. I use Reese exclusively in those applications when I want the weather stripping to be as proud of the opening as the $3,000 set of exit devices that you have on the door. This is in the site in lots of different lengths, everything from 2 foot way out longer. The longer lengths are going to get costly to ship because of the length. If you have need for a custom length, and it's likely that you will, this 36-inch, I'm not sure what door you're putting it on, but it's likely that you want this a little bit shorter, maybe 35 3/4. Order the next longest piece or pieces. Indicate in the comment field the net length that you'd like for us to cut the material back to, and we'll be happy to oblige. No reason to have to cut this. If you do that, we'll not only put the slotted hole at the proper distance from the edge, but the proper center to center as well, moving down. Screws are included. Speaking of those holes, those slotted holes are nice. It will help compensate for a header that's not level, some sort of other condition. Perhaps when you're pre-drilling the holes, that drill bit has a tendency to walk a little bit before it pierces into the hollow metal frame. You might want to consider the additional work, time, and labor it will take if you're drilling into a mortar-filled hollow metal frame after the fact. If you are installing a steel frame and you know you're going to put drip caps on later on in the header, pack it with a small amount of white rigid foam insulation. Put it in there, mortar around it. At least you'll have a little area to run your screws before you hit concrete. Just a trick that a mason told me about. You're going to want to. This will turn a 15-minute project into into an endeavor if you're drilling into concrete for 5 screws. It's just not worth it. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Reese products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Reese? This is their part number R199A, Raindrip drip cap, or any other Reese product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you